United States law to enforce entire internet to require age verification will pass the Senate. I thought about this today. Coincidentally, I talked about this today.
Microsoft, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Comcast, AT&T, Facebook, and various other major big tech companies were lobbying and supporting the Kids Act being passed within the House of Representatives and soon to pass within the Senate. For those that have no idea what lobbying is, let me explain. What is lobbying in politics? Lobbying is any legal attempt by individual, private, interest groups, or professional advocates to influence the decisions, policies, or actions of government officials. More or less, it's big companies, people with a lot of money and a lot of backing with a lot of capital that are able to influence politicians to write up bills and regulations that benefit them to begin with. I don't like to ask this, especially early.
Yeah, lobby is it's a very common practice in my country. Very common practice.
On in the video, but please like and share this video because more people need to become aware of what's actually going on here and the true face behind the actual mask that is pushing the Kids Act to be passed, not just within the House of Representatives, but also eventually the Senate, that it is multiple big tech companies that are coming together to basically remove your privacy, remove the ability to be anonymous online. And so I urgently ask you guys, please share this video for more people become aware of this, because for some reason, not a lot of people are talking about this.
I don't want to disappoint you guys. I think you guys should try to fight whatever means you can. But you guys know my opinion about this, right? All of the senators, all of the deputies, all of them without exception are in favor of this. They are just waiting the perfect opportunity that seems to be coming already, and they will implement this. They will, and there is nothing we can do. This is my opinion on this. My TLDR of everything I said earlier about this on this stream, you know. They will pass this because it's of their interest. You see that they don't ever talk about this. They don't even touch the matter because they know all of us are against this. They know very well. They are not stupid. They don't talk about this because they know that they will need to vote in favor of this. And you see that they will unanimously vote in favor of this bullshit. Just wait and see. Everyone from the Democrats and the Republicans, mark my words, from the Republicans and Democrats will vote in favor of this, okay? Everyone. I know because I'm used to see this stuff happen in my country. Some things like this one, they have the entire support of both sides, you know? It will pass. That's why, and this is another good example of law that I say, it's us against them. There is not fucking Republicans versus Democrats. All of them are shit. You know, of course Democrats is a shit, but both of them are shit. It's us against them. It's us against them. Yes, I'm a white loopy to see if you guys remember this, okay? It's us against them, okay? That's it.
This, which is honestly a massive concern. And so basically, it's been discovered by this user that over 120 media companies, major tech companies, telecom, and a bunch of different big names were in support of getting the Kids Act passed, which is very interesting because a lot of different, government officials that got the Kids Act passed within the House of Representatives love to use the slogan that this will reel in and control big tech companies from getting out of hand. But it's very clear that this is being funded by big tech companies. For those that don't know where this information is being...
Obviously, that's why it's lobbying. It happens here in my country as well too. Literally everything. That's why, and that's how we got so fucking screwed.
Pull from this individual went through and opened up this site that is able to actually pull data from the individual bills. And if you go here to the Kids Online Safety Act, which was a part of, the Kids Act that got passed within the House of Representatives, you will go here and you can see the individuals that are in support of this bill and lobbying. For instance, you can see here clients lobbying on the Kids Online Safety Act, which was a part of the Kids Act passed in the House of Representatives. You can see Microsoft is a part of this, Meta, aka Facebook, Alphabet Inc., Google. You can see, Reset Tech Action, AT&T, Comcast, Microsoft. You have a bunch of individuals that are here. Even, Twitter. You can see Twitter here, Sony, Roblox. I mean, the list keeps going on. You can just see Nintendo's a part of this, Pinterest is a part of this. You have, Motion Pictures is a part of this, Epic Games is a part of this, eBay is a part of this. I think you kind of get the point. Basically, every massive name that has big capital, a lot of weight on the internet, is in support of forcing age verification, biometric scan, and face scanning technology. There has never been more damning evidence on just what is actually going on here. I would like to reiterate something for those that don't know what the Kids Act fundamentally will do, which I covered the other day. Basically, it is a bill to where the government is going to be saying you need to always know if someone is a kid or not a kid on your site. And they like to use the quotation marks with multiple pages that you need to know your.
This want to remind you guys that we are already in the middle of 2026. They have roughly more 3 years and a bit to implement all that bullshit for the New World Order, their fucking crappy, evil, demonic plan that they have. And of course, up until there, they will need everything unified on that fucking plan. And this is what I tell you guys again. They are not doing any of this by accident. It's all planned. For how many decades ago? I think for at least 100 years ago or so. That is being planned to be doing very slowly within time, and now they are running with it and everything else because they need everything ready to control all of us entirely up until 2030, and that's it. And it's knocking the door already, and they need to push this. So this will pass right now. This will pass on the Senate right now. Sorry to disappoint you guys. This is exactly what's gonna happen.
Users, basically. They specifically say they're not forcing the internet, or they're not forcing companies and different sites to age verify, but they are saying they expect every site to know if they're of age
Thank
or
you
not.
so much,
So
Knock
obviously this
Monkey.
is legal
Thank you
mumbo
very much
jumbo
for
to where the
5
government can
months
say we're not
subscribed.
forcing age
Thanks so much.
verification, but in reality, we are forcing age verification. It's just up to the private companies and the different sites to basically force it. So it's like the government saying, we're hands off, we're not doing this, we're not technically breaking any rights because obviously we're not forcing these private companies to do anything, but in reality we actually are. And so these companies have to always know exactly if you're an adult or a kid or whatever, so the only way to really know this is by increasing the ability to spy on you, aka age verification, biometric scans, face scanning, digital ID, any form of way to identify who you actually are. And so pretty much this big detail here was basically causing these different sites.
Now it's about control, it's about censorship, it is about it's not about kids, it never was. It's about control, censorship, about selling your data, make your data more valuable to data brokers and etc. They all sell our data to people, so they will make our data even more valuable because we now have our facial ID, our digital, have everything. And that will make things a lot more valuable. Our data will have a lot more, will give them a lot more of money. That's why.
To be liable for, basically if they, didn't know. Like, for instance, they should always know if there's a kid or not on their site. And if they don't know, they might have to pay fines or whatever. But the fact that these big companies, these major big tech companies are in support of this implies that it's not about them being worried about liability or even upset about it. They just want to know your information. And as Hannibal, which I covered actually in another video yesterday, he actually pointed out that the tech companies and these different sites can still harvest kids' data. They are not restricted by harvesting different kids' data online. So it's not about protecting kids, it's literally about harvesting your data and invading your privacy. So everything about this really has just been completely masked off with this right here, and it's honestly pretty freaking damning. Because one of the big things here is that you legitimately see that every big, massive corporation that has a massive chunk of the internet is basically lobbying for this. They are paying off politicians. They are paying off politicians of the United States to pass this stuff. You realize how crazy? Like, look, even Disney is a part of this. Dropbox is a part of this. You can see the individuals that want this to pass. This shows, like, Fox is a part of this. Etsy is a part of this. I think the list goes on. I have a link to this in the description if you want to see it for yourself. But yeah, 130 plus, or 120 plus, correction, 120 major tech companies are in support of this, and that is just of what we know. And this is public information, by the way, that you're supposed to know, which this individual points out. For instance, by the way, this site, Open Secret, is run by the Center for Responsive Politics, a nonpartisan organization that pulls data directly from federal lobbying disclosure filings, aka this is public information. This has to be disclosed. Those filings are required by law under the Lobbying Disclosure Act. Companies file them quarterly. They are public records. You can cross-reference every number of open secrets directly against the Senate's own lobbying database at ida.senate.gov. So basically, this is official information that is pulled from an actual governmental site and all that because of the Disclosure Act or filings that has been passed in the United States. So, yeah, this is bad. Like, we're basically fighting the internet. We're fighting, we are wanting to save the internet, but we're fighting the big names that control the internet. That is what this is. And it makes so much sense, because obviously we know these big corporations, these big tech companies, they want your info for a variety of reasons. I mean, they want to sell ads to you, obviously. If they know where exactly you live, your age, and everything, they're able to target ads specifically for you. On top of that, they could sell your data to other rivaling companies to be able to make more profit off of you, because your data is very, very valuable. It's not just that as well. They also basically, you know, put you at risk of censorship. For instance, if there's certain things about you that they don't like, they can basically shadow ban you and force you to not have a presence online anymore. That's more or less what can happen here. This is very bad, and it shows that collectively all these different rivaling companies, all these different rivaling politicians from both sides, Democrat and Republicans, are working together to try to get this passed under everybody's noses. It makes so much sense now why this has gotten so much support, is because you have actual companies with millions upon millions and billions of dollars that are supporting this to get passed. And now seeing just how many people are trying to get this through the door, honestly, I feel like the Senate's probably going to pass this. Like, there's so much money clearly being pushed in the background lobbying for these politicians to pass this, that it is really, really scary. And it is actually insane that not a lot more people are talking about this. Like, I feel like I'm one of the only few individuals that are really talking about this. Like, you know, the fact that you have like Microsoft, Sony, Netflix, and you have Google, Etsy, Fox, and all these different like back and forth companies with their own political ideologies coming together to pass this, I think says a lot.
Yeah,
they're just wanting to get money off you. Like, you have actual internet companies like Charter Communications even a part of this. Like, I mean, it is really not a good look. Like Shopify, Nintendo, just, dude. Oh, dude, this is not something I wanted to see, honestly, but at least we now know the villain. We know who is really pushing this, and well, just like how these politicians like to say they're trying to reel in big tech companies and stop them, it's very clear that no, it's not about that. They're actually helping them. They're helping them gather data and know what you do and, you know, basically censor you. This is honestly very anti-American. This is an attack on freedom itself in America, and I'm just gonna say, even if you don't live in America, this will affect you, okay? I want to make...
Of course it will, because once it's approved in America, like US, even if you live in a country that doesn't require that, it will be enforced over you, because all these companies are in US, and they will use that as an excuse to push through everyone.
Make sure I say this again, because a lot of people like to think, oh, it's not my country, so it doesn't matter. That's what people said about the UK. That's what people said about the EU. Now look what situation we're in. Basically, if America does somehow pass this, and the Senate actually allows this to bulldoze through, this means that other countries 100% will follow suit. And these United States companies will also probably implement global age verification. I mean, look what Discord is already doing.
Exactly. The other countries doesn't even need to implement that. Like, because it's happening in US and all these corpos majoritarily are US, they will implement that globally.
What's to say that these other companies are not going to do the same? I mean, let's look at Netflix, for instance. Netflix, technically, they as we know, they wanted to make a one-party household. For instance, like, you could not share your passwords anymore to, like, different accounts or different people, your friends around the globe or in the same country anymore, because they wanted to make sure only you were in control of that account. And so this is definitely something Netflix would want. They want to know exactly where you are at all times, who you are as an individual.
But of course, right guys, non-government in the world would be against protecting children, right? Protecting children and women.
For they could spy on you, but also not try to lose money with account sharing or something. You can see kind of some details here where a lot of companies want to gain from this. They're trying to gain more money and profit off this. There is not any good intentions of protecting kids or think of the children. It's about making as much money as possible off of you at your expense and at your privacy's expense. And that's what's going on here. So honestly, it's really bad just to see how many companies that are on both sides politically that are coming together to push the Kids Act to censor the internet and force age verification on the entire internet to know what you're doing at any given time. It is actually unbelievable just how there is a lack of conversation around this subject. Like, there should be pretty much all of YouTube, all the big content creators, all the big Twitch streamers, people on Kick and everywhere on the internet talking about the situation. And the fact that I have not seen a lot of people, like an overwhelming amount of people talking about this, is pretty horrifying to me, especially people not talking about the elephant in the room, which is basically the lobbying, the clients that are lobbying for the Kids Act to be passed, aka like Microsoft, Facebook, AT&T, Sony, Roblox, Twitter. You get the point. It's just like, why are people not talking about this? It is actually insane to me. Like, it feels like it is purposely being suppressed, or purposely people are just choosing not to talk about this, when this legitimately can spell the end for the anonymous internet, the privacy of the internet itself. And I just don't know why people are just willing to actively ignore this until finally it's just at their doorstep and they can no longer ignore it. But I'm going to leave it at that, though. Honestly, this has just been an absolutely roller coaster in terms of stuff that's been going on. And I'm just going to say right now, I will link this stuff in the description if you are curious about it. Once again, you know, this entire stuff, this information with the lobbying is actually official. It's pulled from, you know, actual governmental sources because of the Disclosure Act and all that, where, you know, you're supposed to know who is lobbying for what. So if you are interested in this, I will link this post, and I will probably link this site as well in the description for you to check it out for yourself. But if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like. It helps with the algorithm, and share the information of what's going on. But I love you guys. Talk to you all later. Chibi out.
Yeah, just want to remind you guys to join our Discord server so you guys can make part of the Amazing Fox News community. You guys can participate in many activities there, including like participating on movie nights, watch parties, and multiplayer games like on channels and etc. People are always like talking about making plans to play together some game or to stream something, you know. And yeah, there are many other stuff there. I really terrible at advertising myself. You guys know that very well. Try my best. I will get better. Also consider supporting Fox on Patreon and Ko-Fi, and or on the Kick platform through subscription or gifting subs. That helps me a lot, since like I'm a perma shadow banned fox, right? Or perma banned shadow fox. What? No, I'm confused. You guys understand? It's almost 1 a.m. I'm not thinking straight. Microsoft's name is just a description of their what the fuck's an hours. Okay, before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tailed fox tier member, the Holy Ball, and to all of my 3-tailed fox tier members, Wallony Wolf, Fanny Sylvie, Eat Himself, Chile Not Serious, Eustace the Useful, Zealous Isaiah, Ala Rosas, Max Tenor, Nugutino, Avery, Halcyonic Eder, and TV8. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone that have been supporting me on Ko-Fi, Kick, and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. And that's it for today, my dear Foxlings. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.